Welcome everybody to History International Film Festival Austria of this year's format. We're here in 2024 and we have our next submission with us. It's a film called Andronico Comneno, and we have here Lorenzo and Ivan here that will tell us a little bit about their production. Lorenzo and Ivan, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell us a little bit what your film is about and, of course, who you are?
Hello, this is Lorenzo. Hello, everyone. And I am the director of this film. I also wrote it. So while Ivan, I leave the word to him.
Yes, I am an actor and voice actor, one of the main protagonists of this production. But of course, it is divided between smaller films. So I am an actor among some of these, not everyone, but I also followed Lorenzo in every part of it after he called for me.
Yes, because this particular film I submitted to your festival is part of a larger project made of 37 short movies.
Okay.
Anyway, let's talk about this specific one, which is dedicated to the life, actually the last few years of the life of Andronikos Komnenos. Andronikos Komnenos, I should say in Greek. And who is Andronikos Komnenos? Andronikos Komnenos is a Byzantine emperor. He died in 1185 after ascending to the Roman throne in Constantinople, because he was the emperor of the eastern part of the Roman Empire. And his life was truly adventurous, I would say, almost unbelievable if you start digging into it. But I just selected the very last part of his life, not just because my intention was to do a short movie and not colossal, but also because it allowed me to focus on the feeling of doom, which is often associated with the history of the Byzantine Empire.
When focusing on a historical event or person, people usually try to depict details about the person very in an authentic way. We often have in our festival the picturings of specific people that lived most of the time in the last 100 years, if it's a biographical piece. But in your case, you did something rather artistic, rather emotional. And how did you come to the modus, to the way of depicturing those last years, those last moments, and the way you deliver the impression of that?
Yes, exactly. Emotional is the right word you used. So I'm very happy that this was somehow conveyed by my movie, because indeed the idea was not much of telling a story in a rather standard way, but my intention was to put spectators within the feeling of a Byzantine emperor, quite ambitious as as a goal. And how do you put someone into the feeling of someone else? Through poetry more than through standard narration. So my aim, then I don't know if I actually managed to achieve this goal, was to do something poetic through moving images. And that's how the weird, also the weird aspect, the weird look of my short movie came out. Because, you know, if you want to make poetry, what do you have to do? You have to put some strict boundaries to your work, somehow arbitrary boundaries. No, a rhyme scheme in a poem is a strict boundary to the expressions, to the words you have to use. So how do you do this in cinema? You do this, for instance, by choosing, before starting, some obstacles, and you try to respect them. So, for instance, the light, the choice of shooting basically everything by candlelight, and Ivan can testify that basically all the scenes besides the first one in the sea, they are totally shot by candlelight, literally. And another boundary is the budget. It's basically a no-budget film, as they call them. So made with friends, even, and others. And so that's basically the reasoning behind the look and feel of my short movie. Then again, I don't know if it actually it is actually perceived as poetry, but that's another reason why it feels rather enigmatic, because again, it doesn't describe the biography of this emperor. It just hints at some possible feelings. It gives us some sort of atmosphere of what could have been, is psyche, in a sense, is emotional world, is, I would say, since we're in cinephile environment, is inland empire,
Yeah.
so to speak.
In fact, I would like to add that in this short film in particular, well, in every one of them, but specifically in this one, he never told me as an actor the story or anything. He just said, okay, now I want you to feel this, I want you to do this. I never knew the story, since it was a so atmospheric and emotional movie, an emotional project. Even the main actor didn't know actually what we were going to film. We just did it, and then when we saw the result in the end, we saw, oh, so this is what I did. Okay, that's cool.
So, Lorenzo, you're building something like an emotional riddle
Yes.
for your actors on set as well as the viewer, and I think it's a great opener to immerse yourself into the time, and also a gateway into making people want to know more about it, because usually a documentary is like a summary of details and summary of dates and lines, and you get all these information packages, but often it is inept to tell you something about the personality that is behind the person that is depicted, and you kind of made you built up and you opened up the personality and this introspective. So I think that it will make people want to know more about him, know more about the Roman Empire, know more about the personalities behind it. And I think that in your oeuvre, that you told us it's part of something bigger and more productions. If we can expect more like this, it will be a huge Gesamtkunstwerk, a huge endeavor with so many.
Conglomerate.
yeah, with so many aspects coming together, we're very curious to see more of it. If you would be so kind and send us also links so we can link them in the interview here and in the festival afterwards if they are already published somewhere.
Yeah. It's a project that was completed basically last year after 20 years of work, even a bit more than 20 years. And you can find more of this kind of atmosphere. I am very happy that you use the word riddle, because indeed this whole project is a kind of riddle itself. And actually, Andronico Comneno, the film we're talking about, is one of the most standard among the others. So at least you can reconstruct a more or less linear narrative, especially if you know Byzantine history and the biography of Andronikos Komnenos. So yes, I will certainly send you more about this whole project. And I'm also very, very happy about what you said. One of the main ideas that led me to shoot this movie was that of truly sparking a curiosity about Byzantine history, which is not very common in history in general is not usually a matter, especially ancient history, of I mean everyday chats. Okay. Anyway, if you think about it, there are tons of movies about the classic, let's say, Roman Empire, but Byzantine history is somehow
still exotic. Yeah.
Yes, still exotic. Exactly. Especially when you think about movie production, I mean mainstream movie production. So this was exactly one of my main goals when directing this film. Ignite curiosity about this beautiful world. And so what's the best way to ignite curiosity? Making a riddle that you can solve by searching for more information about history. So if something, I always say, is not clear about what happens within the movie, that's a good thing, because then you're supposed to try and find more about what happened in front of your eyes.
Yeah. So we're at the end of our timetable, and well, we thank you a lot, Lorenzo and Ivan, for giving us so many insights into your production and such a huge project, taking you over, you said 20 years to create. That's something we can only be astonished of. It's I hope you will send us more links. For the last sentence, do you have a tip? What other films of your oeuvre we should also watch when we, of course, especially when we saw Andronico Comneno?
You should watch Manuele Comneno, which is about the cousin of Andronikos Komnenos. So yeah, that's it, about Manuel Komnenos, another Byzantine emperor who preceded Andronikos on the Byzantine throne. Yeah.
Okay. So great. Thank you a lot for joining our festival and giving us your time for an interview as well. We're very glad to have you on board, and we hope we'll see one another again in maybe our next festival, or maybe sometime on site in Austria, because we don't live too far from one another.
Yeah.